Good morning, everybody. Today I wanted to talk to you guys quickly about intermittent fasting. If you guys have followed me at all and you watch my content or you know me personally, you will know that for most of my life I have struggled with my weight in some capacity. Now that served me when I played rugby, and in the context of martial arts, sometimes mass and size is very helpful, but outside that context, for the most part, not particularly good. It's something that I've had to navigate and work at. And for many years, as my body struggled to find homeostasis, the missing link, in a sense, was intermittent fasting. And it's starting to become a missing link for a lot of people. It's the thing that sort of turns the tables in people's favor as they struggle with their health or their weight. And we start to see these other benefits that come from it as well. Inflammation response goes down, cholesterol levels drop, people have greater clarity of thought, they have more physical energy, flexibility increases sometimes. And this is a process that has multi layers, but the picture I want to paint for you guys, and the invitation that I want to invite you into and for you to consider is this: that eating too much food actually robs you of energy. Now the question is, why is this? Why is it when we eat too much food that we're robbed of energy? And I think the thing that we can be brought back to is this: digestion is a process. Digestion requires energy. Every physiological process in our body requires something of us. You can think of it in a sense like a mild stress. It's okay. It's a stress we're supposed to have. Mild stress that comes and goes is part of life, and that's what we're supposed to do. But in the context of food, we have to remember that digestion is a process. So every time you eat food, your body is going through a low-level stress. So if you can embrace that idea, it starts to paint the picture why having less meals, or meals in a shorter period of time, gives the body a break. And so when our body is not having to digest, what starts to happen is the body's resources, the energy that we're producing, begins to be allocated in new and different areas. This is why we see inflammation response improve. People's aches and pains start to go away. Like I said, cholesterol goes down. There's some really cool things that start to happen. But if we're always stuffing the furnace and we're always putting food in, the body is always having to work. Now, some people don't respond well to fasting, and that's okay. But there are many people that do, and that's why I always say intermittent fasting is something to consider, because all of us did it throughout history. Every culture has fasted at some point or another. Whether when we were hunting and before we had agriculture established, there were periods where we wouldn't eat for a long time. We would go sometimes days or weeks without food, because that was the nature of the beast. And then when we ate, it was glorious. So with modern times, what we're starting to see is diseases of affluence. Too much alcohol, too much food, too much screen time, too much sitting. It's the comforts. We're overwhelmed by comfort. And with that, we have forgotten how to deal with that low-level intermittent stress. And we need that. And so when we start to fast, we give our digestion a break, and the body is able to assimilate better, and we have more energy available. So the picture I always like to paint is this: if you think of your digestive system as your garden, what we know about gardening is that if you plant too many seeds too closely together, we don't yield a very good crop. Corn, for instance. If you plant too many corn seeds together, and when the stalks grow and they start to come out of the soil, they will compete for resources. The corn that is produced will be subpar. It'll be on the smaller side. Each one has a dilute nutrition packed into it because they were fighting for resources as they were growing. We want to think of meals the same way. We don't want to have too many meals or too many seeds planted in the garden. We want to space them out. And that's what intermittent fasting does. You eat a meal, you plant the seed, and you let the body assimilate it and do its thing, and then give your digestive system a break. When we don't have to digest all the time, we start to have new areas of awareness open up. We're not as reliant on food. So thinking, your clarity of thought, your mood usually is uplifted because you're not bogged down by the process of digestion. It's a really powerful tool, and it's one that we are forgetting. But as people are starting to do it, they're starting to see very real result. So my invitation to you is to consider that eating too much actually robs you of energy. Now, Some people don't respond well to fasting. Some people are very lean or they have very fast metabolisms, and fasting might not be the thing for you. But if you want to try it, whether you are a beefier frame or a leaner frame, either way, if you want to try it, one of the things that I say that will support you in the fasting process is consuming high quality salt during your fasting period, as well as quality electrolytes. Now you can get quality electrolytes at most health food stores. You can go onto Amazon, you can do your research. I don't have any affiliated brands that I lean towards. I just look for well-sourced, well-processed products. But pink Himalayan salt is a high-quality salt, and having salt and these electrolytes will give your body the baseline it needs as you go through your fasting process. So if you are fasting, or you're looking to explore fasting, these are the things that I would consider. And if you are fasting, if you are fasting and having a difficult time, incorporate the electrolytes and salt. That's a game changer. And if you're starting the process, consider that, because you might struggle as you fast. When we go through the fasting process, we get sometimes the detox symptoms. We get headaches and things are shifting. Our body is acclimating and getting used to having less food. But in the end, just know that there are lots of different ways to fast. There are eating windows where you can eat 8 hours of a day, 6 hours of a day, 4 hours of a day, or what I do, what they call OMAD, 1 meal a day, which is 1 hour eating window. For my body, that works, but I do not recommend that for everybody. Not everyone has a large, beefy frame. And if you don't have that, then it's probably not the move for you. But I think you guys should consider intermittent fasting, because it's a very powerful tool. We've done it throughout history, and it's one of the things that can really turn the tides in your favor in terms of your health. So, thanks a bunch.